The 100-meter race at the 1988 Seoul Olympics is often described as the dirtiest race in history. That was the year when Jamaican-born Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson smashed the world record for the 100 meters and won his gold medal, easily beating his biggest rival, American Carl Lewis. In 9.79 seconds, he put on what CNN described as a display of power and awe never before seen in track and field. The Falmouth native told reporters, "I would like to say my name is Ben Sinclair Johnson Jr. and this world record will last 50 years, maybe 100. Later he said, a gold medal, that is something no one can take away from you. Within days, he was stripped of his medal after drug tests showed traces of a banned steroid, stanozolol, in his urine. Canadians were horrified to find out that they had been represented by a cheat and that someone they had celebrated as a Canadian hero was seen by the world as a fraud.
I don't think even Ben knew how fast he ran.
I didn't know where I was. I know that the crowd was just roaring and yelling and screaming.
A blast from the past, perhaps a once dominant force, a dormant talent, a career on pause, a different path taken, a mission incomplete, dreams unrealized, promise unfulfilled, or potential stifled. Join me as I rewind in order to fast forward to the present on the current status and situation of Jamaican personalities, once very visible and active but not so much of late, in a bid to find out where are they now.
I'm Ben Johnston, 88 games, 100-meter gold medalist.
For several hours following the 100-meter finals in Seoul 1988, Ben Johnson stood on top of the world. However, unfortunately for Johnson, he never collected the much desired gold medal. As subsequent to the race, the world was told that he had tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug. He was disqualified and forced to leave the Games village in disgrace. He had already been invested in 1987 as a member of the Order of Canada. He was a world record holder for the indoor 60-meter run. He proved himself to be the world's fastest human being and had broken the Canadian, Commonwealth and World Cup 100-meter records. A year after the Olympics, at the Canadian government's Dubin inquiry, Johnson admitted that he had lied. His coach told the inquiry that Johnson had been using steroids since 1981. Johnson was born in Jamaica in 1961. He was 15 when he migrated to Toronto with his mother. He linked up with trainer Charlie Francis, who started him out on steroids because it has been reported he believed everybody was doing it and getting away with it.
And we can come back. He got to 60 and then he just kicked again. And that, and that was it.
In an interview with The Telegraph in 2013, Johnson admitted to years of steroid use, but still feels he was unfairly picked out for vilification at a time of widespread drug use in athletics. "I was nailed on a cross, and 25 years later I am still being punished," he said. "I know what I did was wrong. Rules are rules, but the rules should be the same for all. But politics always plays a role in sports." Asked what he would change if he could go back 25 years, Johnson said there was no point trying to live in the past, but I still believe I could have won the Olympic Games without any drugs back then, he added. Many of Johnson's past ventures have been ridiculed. He went to Libya to work for the family of Muammar Gaddafi, coaching the dictator's third son, al-Sadi, in his effort to play professional football. During his 3-year relationship with the family, he saw firsthand the horrors of the Gaddafi regime. In Japan, where he became something of a cult figure, he earned money participating in such stunts as racing against turtles or getting fitted with a weighted belt and running along the bottom of a pool in a contest against a Japanese swimmer. He coached his buddy Diego Maradona for a short time in Toronto when the soccer star's career was waning. In 1998, he raced against a thoroughbred racehorse, a harness racing horse, and a stock car in a charity race in Prince Edward Island. He finished third. In 2006, he appeared in TV commercials for an energy drink called Cheetah Power. One ad featured the CEO of the drink manufacturer asking Johnson, "Ben, when you run, do you cheetah?" "Absolutely," says Johnson. "I cheetah all the time." Go. And in what may have been his greatest folly after cheating in the Olympics, of course, he allowed himself to be convinced by faith healer Brian Farnham that he was a reincarnated pharaoh and that Carl Lewis was a reincarnated enemy from thousands of years ago. No matter what may be said or have been said, I won that race in 9.79 seconds, a new world record, said Johnson, who still resides in Canada but is harboring thoughts of returning home to Jamaica. Since then, in 6 of the last 8 Olympics, Jamaicans have won. Linford Christie, representing Great Britain, won in 1992. Donovan Bailey, representing Canada, won in 1996. And Usain Bolt has won the last 3.
I don't have any regrets. I mean, the IAF, they took away all my world records and everything away from me, but they haven't taken away anything from me. You know, I have my life, I have my future, I have my health and my family.
Unlike many Jamaicans, Johnson is not worried about what will become of Jamaica's male sprinting since the retirement of Usain Bolt. According to him, Jamaica is a sprint factory. There is no need to worry about Bolt's retirement, said Johnson, who started running in the shadow of his older brother, Edward Johnson, while they were growing up in Falmouth, Jamaica. Johnson, now 55, is currently coaching athletes in Canada and wants to play a part in the development of new Jamaican sprinting talent when he resettles in Jamaica. I would also like to coach some youngsters and to help to discover the next Usain Bolt right here in Trelawney, said Johnson. I had the best start in my era. Nobody has been able to copy me. When I spread my wings and got up, I was gone. I would love to teach that to some Jamaican kids. Although he is currently not a certified coach, Johnson said his past success is enough to draw aspiring athletes who need expert guidance to him. The powers that be don't like my name and are always trying to put stumbling blocks in my way. When he comes back to Jamaica full-time, the veteran sprinter who was guided to global success by elite coach Charlie Francis says he plans to follow in the footsteps of his late father, Benjamin Sinclair Sr., who was an avid beekeeper. I plan to get into farming, specifically beekeeping, said Johnson. I grew up seeing my father in beekeeping. It has always been something I love, he said. Now 55 years old, Johnson has pretty much avoided publicity and scrutiny in the last few years.
No, I haven't lost anything. The only thing I feel sad about 1988 because I slowed down the last 20 meters. I should have run right to the line. That's the only regret I have right now in my mind. I should have run from 0 to 100 meters. That's the only regret I have.
This video was made possible through the continued generosity of my patrons. To become a patron, follow the link in the description below. Thank you for watching the video. Drop a like and a comment down below and consider subscribing if you haven't done so as yet. Until next time, walk good.